Well, for more on Detroit's influence on the resurgence of the auto industry, I'm joined by Glenn Stevens. He's the Detroit Regional Chamber's MICHauto and Strategic Development Vice President. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, good evening. The reason is it's still the automotive center of the world. There's no greater concentration of OEMs, suppliers, and research anywhere in the world than there is in Detroit and Southeast Michigan, and for that matter, across the state of Michigan. So the world comes to Detroit. It comes here for the 40-plus global unveils of new vehicles. There's over 5,000 journalists, as you mentioned, and the global CEOs also come here because this is still the heartbeat of the automotive industry, both nationally and on an international scale also.
Now, as you mentioned about Detroit being the historic heart of the U.S. automotive industry. Now, so what does hosting that show here in Detroit mean for the city?
Well, it means an awful lot. It means an awful lot from a historical context because this was the birthplace of the modern automotive industry. So we're very proud of the fact that we have the industry in our DNA and our culture, but it also means a lot economically. So the equivalent of having the show here is about what it equates to as having a Super Bowl as a host city, over $400 million economically to the local Southeast Michigan economy. That's the economic impact, but the show throughout the course of its run, including the charity preview this Friday evening, which raises over $5 million for children's charities in the Detroit area, is very significant from an impact standpoint.
Now, with that being said, some automakers with a big focus, especially on technology, are more so turning to CES instead of the auto show when it comes to promoting their brands. What are your thoughts on that shift?
Well, I was there last week, and just like many of the auto companies from around the world, they go there also. CES is not an auto show. They'll tell you the same thing, the folks that run that show, which are just professionals. It's an extremely exciting show. It's a consumer electronics show. But because the automobile and mobility are intersecting with the Internet of Things, the CES shows are very important for companies to showcase their technology as it interfaces with the consumer. When it comes to Detroit, this is still one of the leading automotive shows in the world, continues to get stronger every day and every year, and we also showcase technology here. So there's a natural bridge because the world's changing and mobility's changing.
So would you say that they complement each other, being that they are both held in January and so close together? Are there any concerns that one might overshadow the other?
Well, I don't think so because, again, this is an automobile show to showcase new products. And what we have here is we have the 5,000 journalists that cover it. We have the global CEOs that come here. And we have, actually nearly 50 unveils of global product, 90% of it being global. And this is for a chance for the community, the global automotive community, to see the finished product. At CES, you're looking at the technology interface. Just like we see Detroit and Silicon Valley, a lot of people say it's Detroit versus Silicon Valley. We don't see it that way. We see it as a natural progression of synergy between the areas with regards to advancing technology and eventually advancing mobility.
Now, Glenn, we also mentioned that 2015 was a bumpy year for car sales, but with production shifting overseas, what does that mean for jobs in Detroit? Will it ever get its crown back as being the motor city?
Well, we still have 13 assembly plants in Michigan. We manufacture over 20% of the vehicles built in the United States are still manufactured in Michigan. But what we also are is really a global center for R&D. And as the world changes, there's no greater concentration of OEMs and suppliers anywhere in the world than there is in Michigan. But what a lot of people don't know, but the world's fast learning, is that we are also an advanced center for the connected vehicle and autonomous vehicle research. So I would say that not only are we maintaining it, but we're actually expanding it as the world of mobility changes.
Well, Glenn, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much for joining us, Glenn Stevens.